Mohammed Takiyapi. Hello, my relatives. My name is Mike Jetty. I am a member of the Spirit Lake Dakota Nation, and I currently work at the Montana Office of Public Instruction as an Indian Education Specialist. Today, I'd like to visit with you about some issues regarding American Indians that basically can be broken down into four categories: diversity, culture, history, and sovereignty. Thinking about diversity, there are over 560 federally recognized tribes in this country, over 300 distinct American languages. And so you think about that huge amount of diversity. Indians represent about maybe 2 to 3% of the U.S. population, but there's about 50% of the country's cultural and linguistic diversity represented by American Indian tribes in the United States. And so always keep that in mind, that the tribes are very diverse. They have their own unique languages, cultures, and histories. Thinking about culture, there are ceremonies, there are songs that are thousands of years old that talk about these mountains, that talk about these places, that talk about lakes, rivers, sacred sites. And so we think about place-based knowledge. There's a lot of traditional wisdom that these tribes have that I think we could all learn from. We say Mitako Yasi in Dakota. That means we're all connected. We're all related. A lot of tribes have that philosophy. And so, those cultures, they're alive. People are revitalizing their traditional languages and ceremonies. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that. So American Indians have made a huge contribution to this world and will continue to do so. History from American Indian perspectives is a little different from the story we've been traditionally told. Terms like nation of immigrants, New World, westward movement, those are, culturally biased terms that are a good example of the cultural hegemony that, persists in this country. It's not to say those terms are wrong, but for American Indian people, this wasn't a new world. It was just home. Didn't immigrate from anywhere. We're just here in the first place. Westward movement for the tribes out here in Montana, it wasn't a westward movement. It was an eastern invasion. So different perspectives. And sovereignty, tribal sovereignty, is what makes American Indian people unique from any other cultural group in this country. American Indians have a unique legal and political relationship with the federal government through the U.S. Constitution, treaties, and executive and legislative decisions. And so keep that in mind if you're working with American Indian people, that they have tribal governments, and they have tribal elections and tribal leaders and tribal laws and tribal policies that are relevant today for American Indian people, plus folks that are working with, the various tribal nations here in the United States of America.